In this lesson, you will add concrete columns to the structure. These columns will extend from the entry level to level 2. Click the menu browser and select Open Project. Then open the file rstmdlcol01 concrete. Let's place columns at grid intersections. On the Home tab of the ribbon, from the Structure panel, click Column. Notice the current element type is concrete, round, column, 18 inches. From the Multiple panel, click On Grids. Note that when you use the On Grids tool to place columns, Revit Structure automatically places the top level of the columns at the current level. Draw a selection box around the grids by first clicking the upper left corner of the drawing above the grid and then dragging the cursor to the lower right corner as shown. Then, from the Multiple Selection panel, click Finish Selection. When you do, concrete columns are placed at each grid intersection. Click Modify and let's verify the column base level. Zoom into the column at grid location A1 and right-click on the column and select All Instances. With all the columns selected, click the Element Properties drop-down and select Instance Properties. In the Instance Properties dialog, under Constraints, for Base Level, make sure 01 Entry Level is selected, and for Base Offset, make sure the value is at 0 feet, and click OK. We have now verified that the base level of all the columns is extended to the entry level of the structure. Next, let's delete the columns outside of the drawing floor extents. Make a selection window around all the columns on grid line 4 between grid line D and G. These columns are placed at grid locations outside of the floor extents of the architectural drawing and need to be deleted. From the Modify panel, click Delete. Next, let's view the columns in 3D. In the Project browser, under 3D Views, double-click 3D. Then, on the View control bar, which is located at the lower left corner of the drawing area, click Model Graphic Style and select Shading with Edges. Next, we'll view the concrete column analytical model. As you create the model in Revit Structure, a simplified 3D representation of each element is created automatically. This simplified view is referred to as the analytical model. Each element is drawn with a different color to help identify specific analytical properties. For example, columns display as a blue line. You can export the analytical model to analysis and design applications. On the View control bar, click Model Graphics Style and select Wireframe. Zoom in on one of the columns to see the blue line representing the analytical model. Then close the file without saving it, as the next training lesson will supply its own training file. And that concludes this lesson.